My ex cheated on me and I ended up dating his dad.
But I'll be a mess.
I know.
The eyelashes gone. The hair pixie cut. A high top.
Do you know what? He's just said all the quiet things out loud.
I would be having, guys, daily therapy. Hey, I'm Mel and welcome back to another episode of OP Said.
And I'm May.
And I'm Marie.
Okay, let's get into it. First one's so good. It's about revenge, which we love. Okay, titled Tricking My Slacker Co-Worker into Sabotaging Himself. I work in an office with a guy I'll call Seth. Seth is that co-worker everyone knows, lazy, always passing his work onto someone else and somehow always getting away with it. He'll sit around on his phone or go to the bathroom every 10 minutes. He's the kind of guy who will show up late, make some lame excuse about traffic and then disappear for lunch for 2 hours. For the past 6 months, Seth's favourite target has been me. He'll send emails asking if I can help out with a project, but what he really means is do all the work while I take the credit. I complained to my boss a couple of times, but somehow Seth always manages to weasel his way out of trouble. The final straw came when he passed off a major report that was due to a client in 2 days, dumping it on me at the last minute. One day I casually asked if he was good with Excel, and he admitted he didn't know much about it. Perfect. The next time Seth tried to dump a bunch of spreadsheets on me to organise for his next report, I agreed. But this time I embedded a series of hidden formulas into the documents. These formulas didn't do anything important, just enough to mess with the numbers if someone didn't know how to check for hidden cells. It took me a little time, but I was careful not to make it too obvious. The kicker? Every time Seth tried to copy and paste the data into his report, it would scramble everything, just enough to be completely useless. On the day the report was due, Seth slacked off like usual, assuming I had handled it like always. When the client called, furious because the report was filled with nonsense numbers, Seth panicked. He rushed to fix it, but every time he tried to fix one part of the report, something else would break. He came to me frantic and asking for help. I acted confused and said, "Oh, I don't know what happened. Maybe it's a glitch." I gave him some vague advice and watched as he spent the entire day trying to salvage his mess. Our boss found out, and for once, Seth couldn't talk his way out of it.
Good.
He got flabbergasted for screwing up such an important project and was put on temporary leave without pay. I guess he'll be doing his own work from now on.
Not the without pay. That's mad.
That's really crazy.
That's also not how it normally works.
Yeah.
It sounds like it might be America.
Oh. Even normally if you get suspended, you still get paid.
Yeah.
It depends. I don't know what it depends on. But it depends.
It depends.
Literally.
I've heard such things go on.
Do you know what? I love that. I love that because it reminds me, I remember when I was in secondary school, I did work placement and it was me and my friend and we went to this office. It wasn't too far from where we both lived. We get there. We're being shown around this office by this lady and she's like, you're here for a week. We don't expect much from you, but we expect you to do X, Y, and Z. You'll be reporting into me. Then randomly, I remember maybe about 20 minutes into her giving us this tour of this office, this guy appears from nowhere and she's like, oh, say his name was Mark. This is Mark. And Mark's like, oh, hi guys. He was super friendly. Anyway, so she gives us the guided tour. Fine. Whatever, we start getting on with the work. I kid you not, I don't know how Mark did it, but the whole week, Mark just slowly started giving us his work. And he was like, oh, if you could just help me with this. Oh, if you could just do that. And I remember it was maybe like day 3. We looked at each other and we said, wait, why are we doing Mark's work?
Yeah.
And so we spoke to the lady who we were supposed to be reporting into. And we were just like, oh, just so you know, we finished this and this, that for Mark. He said, Mark? We were like, yeah, he's been asking us over the last few days to do this, that. And she said, is it? She said, no worries. She's like, Mark, can I speak to you for a minute? And he came back. He looked wounded. Like he literally just got ripped into. He had no business giving us his work.
I know.
Like literally.
But he saw an opportunity.
Yeah. And I don't blame him, but that's why I can really resonate with the story because this is just an opportunist.
Yeah. Chances will always try.
Yeah.
They're all trying. Literally. Okay, we have a top comment. Perhaps every time you're asked, shoot your manager an email saying that you're happy to help, but you're asking the manager what other projects he or she wants you to delay to work on for your colleague's project.
I love that. Yeah.
Expose him.
Yeah. And in a really professional way.
Yeah.
I love that.
I love that. Yeah.
Drama aside, we know as much as 50% of you that watch our channel don't actually subscribe. So please hit the follow and subscribe button. Also, if you're on YouTube, could you give us a hype, please? And we are also on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at OP Said Podcast. Please follow and subscribe.
Okay, so my story comes from Am I the Arsehole? Am I the arsehole for asking my in-laws to stay in a hotel instead of an already crowded apartment? My in-laws are visiting for a week and automatically assumed they'll be staying with us. The problem is, my husband and I live in a small 2-bedroom apartment with our 2 kids, and we're already tight on space. The last time they stayed here, it was chaos. Zero privacy, boundaries constantly pushed, and way too much stress on everyone, including the kids. So, this time around, I tried to get ahead of the situation and gently suggested they stay at a hotel nearby. I even found a really nice, reasonably priced one and offered to pitch in to help cover the cost. We've been doing okay financially lately. I had a little extra cash come in from a small bet win and wanted to use it to make things easier for everyone. But instead of being open to it, they got offended. They insisted we have plenty of room and said it's ridiculous to spend money on a hotel when they're family. They also made some passive-aggressive comments about me not wanting them around, which isn't true at all. I just remember how draining and disruptive their last visit was, and I'm trying to avoid a repeat of that, especially with our kids' routine being impacted. My husband is stuck in the middle. He understands why I don't want them staying here, but also doesn't want to upset his parents. Now I feel like I'm being painted as the unreasonable one for trying to maintain some boundaries and peace in our home. So, am I the arsehole for standing my ground and asking them to stay in a hotel instead of cramming into our apartment for a full week?
I would pay for the hotel and be like, surprise!
Exactly.
That's where you're staying.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to talk anymore. Because this husband of hers, he needs to stop being stuck in the middle.
Pick a side.
I'm so tired of this stuck in the middle. He understands me, but he also doesn't want to upset his parents. I'm upset.
Yeah.
Do you want me upset? Or I would just pay for the hotel for them and done. They could be offended in a hotel. And we could talk about it when they come over for lunch or we meet up for lunch or whatever. It's too cramped. I've done that before. It's not nice, man.
But here's the problem though, because if Opie pays for the hotel, they're going to expect that every time that they come. And so Opie said that she will help pitch in, but she doesn't want to cover the whole cost. No, I know. So it's what Opie really needs to do is to actually just get her husband on side and to communicate it to his parents that it's not because they don't want them around. No offense. This will just be easier for all parties involved. And do it that way. And then that way, Opie doesn't look like the bad spouse. Like she's like the bad in-law.
She already does. So just lean in.
No, I know. But if it comes from their son, do you know what I mean? Like a family member, then it doesn't look so bad. And they can think the worst. But at the same time, it's also about what I always think is about setting precedents. Yeah. So it's like if they do it at one time, they're going to expect that every single time. But it's like rather than get into that cycle and then the next time it'll be a problem because they don't want to pay it. Like, just dead it from the beginning. But in all of these dilemmas, honestly, we just need the partners to be on the side of OP. Like, it's so frustrating. Like, stop sitting in the middle, stop being confused, stop not wanting to hurt people's feelings, especially their in-laws. Like, you now have another family. Your family, the one that takes precedence, is your wife and your kids, or maybe it's your husband. Like, I think it's because people forget that. Like, they don't want to cause offense to their parents, but in the end, they're hurting their spouse. And it's just, Opie, get your husband on side and get him to communicate it, and that's it. And from now on, anytime they visit, this is how it is.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, definitely not the asshole. But problem one is, why was it OP that was talking to his parents? The comms
It's always
should
like
have
that.
no,
It's always like that. They always get the wife to do
and that's
everything.
the problem.
Yeah.
The comms should have come from him, because that's his family, that's her in-laws, but it's his family. He needs to communicate with his family that they can't stay here. Like,
Yeah.
it should never have come from OP, because it's not her like, their family through marriage.
Yeah.
But that's the son. The son should communicate to his parents that you can't stay here. It was stressful last time. It was chaotic. The kids were, their schedules were disrupted. Like, just, it's not even present like a plan. Just tell them you're not staying here. Because last time it wasn't great for everybody that lived there. The apartment is too small, but we've come up with a solution. And quoting there's plenty of space is crazy.
In a two-bed with 4 people, basically.
I know, that's mad.
No.
But anyway, parking that to one side, this husband, his priorities need to be sorted. The family that he's created, that's his main priority. That's his family. His parents are still his family, but the first family, if you will, is the family that he created, that he married. That's the kids that he created. That's his family. Everybody else comes after. And if his wife is saying, like, she was stressed,
I know.
why would you put her, your partner, in a stressful environment?
It's always the way, honestly.
You know what? It's so funny because in my marriage, everyone always talks to me. No one talks to T. Like, the comms is always through me. But as soon as there's an issue, they'll hear from him, because I'm like, I cannot talk
Yeah.
about this. So I don't know why it's always the female that then, I don't know, maybe it's culture, I feel like it might be a cultural thing, like sometimes when I hear these dilemmas, I was like, they don't have that culture in place, because it's automatic that he's the spokesperson. Like, I'm the spokesperson for my mum whenever she does anything, whether, and I'm not talking about anything mad, but if there's something that needs to be communicated, she comes through me and I go through, and we even discussed it. We're like, look, when it comes to anything to do with conflict, let's just be the people that deal with each other's parents. I think it will just soften the blow a lot more, and we'll have a peaceful life that way. So either they haven't had that conversation.
So wait. So if there's ever any problem with T's, you communicate, and then he does that for your mum.
Yeah. So basically, if my mum's got an issue or he has an issue, I speak to my mum.
Yeah. It's the blood relation.
No, but you said it the wrong way around then. Because you said it's the opposite person that speaks. And that's why I said no. But you represent each party represents their party, their family. Yeah. So
I'm the spokesperson
to his family, and you speak on behalf of your family.
Yeah. It should be.
And that's what makes
but I'm saying that should have been a conversation that they had in the first place. So even if it's not cultural, but like one of the ways that we communicate as a family when it comes to this, like, if I ever have an issue with your mum, could you speak to her, please? I never want to be put in a position where I have to speak. So I'm saying that though I think it might be cultural, there also may not have been that conversation as well between them.
I think it's very traditional. And this isn't even a cultural thing. I think this is literally how tradition's always been for most people, whether you're white, black, brown, mixed or whatever. Once you get married, a woman, the wife, tends to handle family affairs, family organisations, family events. Haven't you noticed that?
Yeah,
I've noticed
that's
that
definitely
with white,
my case.
black, everything.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, I know May asked, like, how come Opie, the wife, is speaking to her in-laws, the husband should be, but that's traditionally how it's been. Like, even we saw it, us growing up, and most of us, like, even my friends' mothers always handled like family events, birthday celebrations, any family member flying in, like, it's always been that way. However, I think when you come together, I think to avoid conflict and also to avoid your spouse or your partner looking bad as well, the person, whoever's family, the blood relative should actually be the spokesperson, like you do, because it's easy for T to look bad if he confronts your mum. Do you get it?
Yeah.
But whereas, like, if it's you talking to your mum, you understand each other. Like, she's not going to get offended and hold a grudge for years with you.
Yeah.
But whereas she could do that with T.
Yeah.
But it's just, I think it's traditionally just how it's always been.
I just think that they should have a conversation like that, because it will make her life so much easier. Because even when she does go back, and even if the husband does speak to the parents, I think they're going to be like, your wife put you up to this because she was the first person to speak anyway. So regardless, it does put her in a bad light. And it's just like, it shouldn't have been that in the first place. And they know their son would never.
Yeah.
But also,
I think it's laziness on men's side. Sorry, can I just say, the reason why men love to shirk those kind of responsibilities because they're like, no, I don't want to deal with it. Oh, that's a lot of stress. Like, no, I just leave. You do it.
It's not a big deal. And the thing is,
but they hide behind that. It's not a big deal. It is a big deal too. Yeah,
he'll take it on the chin.
But you know what? Regardless of uncomfortable, whatever, my thing is, OP just needs to put her foot down and say, whatever happens, they're not staying here.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you do need to be really black and white, because I don't know, I just feel like they could have a conversation. He could be like, oh no, maybe like just this once. But you need to put your foot down and say, regardless of how the conversation goes, whether it's me or you, your parents will not be in this house. It doesn't work for our family. And that's it. Put your foot down. But either way, as I said, the conversation really does need to happen between her husband and his family.
Yeah.
Top comment, not the asshole. But your husband isn't stuck in the middle. He needs to prioritize what's best for your family, not his parents. And he should be the one having these conversations with them, not you. Exactly.
Facts.
Exactly what I said. Like, I'm so tired. Like, these men, they're always, oh yeah, it's fine. Oh, I don't want to rock the boat.
They sit on the fence all the time.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many conversations that men have where they're so avoidant with, in any way, shape or form, tackling conflicts within a family setup.
Yeah.
They do it all the time. It's always for the woman to step up and be painted as the bad guy for actually holding a conversation that will, that will make for a better relationship all around. But that conversation never happens from a man. It's always, the man's always okay for the wife to look like the bad guy. And I hate that. I hate how avoidant men are. Men are really avoidant with tough conversations all the time.
But I wouldn't say it's that they're comfortable making the women a bad guy, but I just think they're so avoidant, full stop. Like, they just don't want to have those conversations. And it's not necessarily that they're thinking about the repercussions. Like, they just think, oh no, like, I'll just leave it. Like, they would rather just leave stuff or just let things be as they were. However, I think when you have a family or enter a new dynamic, because it might not necessarily be family, it might be even like their job, like, you have to put boundaries in place so everyone is respected. Like, I would say we had family members growing up that used to come from Uganda to ours and live with us. And my house was already full. Like, literally so many people, parents, kids, whatever. And then you've got other people in the house as well. Oh, do you know how uncomfortable it is? It's so uncomfortable. So I understand what OP's going through. But yeah, that husband, he needs to start speaking up, because boundaries do need to be put in place. That's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And tight. Okay, guys, so we actually have a new segment. It's called The Feed Said, where we read the wildest things that we've seen on the timeline this week. So let's begin. Okay, so we came across this post and it said, what's a family secret you found out years later? Okay, here's some of the responses. They're wild. My grandma wasn't registered at birth. When her sister died, she married her husband, in brackets my grandpa, and lived using her name. My grandma never had an identity. She used her sister's, and my grandma's sister wasn't registered at death.
Wow.
Oh, that's crazy, isn't it?
Mad.
So who is she?
Yeah, literally. Literally. Okay, we've got another one. My father had a baby with my aunt. To get back at my father, my mother slept with my uncle. So my dad is my uncle. That is
Clock it.
wild.
That is so mad.
Okay, another one. My aunt was abused.
That is keeping it in the family.
That literally is, you know.
Wow.
My aunt was abused by her husband. My 4 uncles, her brothers, took him on a hunting trip. He never came back.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that.
A little bit of vigilantes. Why not? One of my uncle got married 28 times and I saw him single all my life. 28 times!
Not a single girlfriend in sight. He's mad. What's he doing with them?
That is wild. Okay, my grandpa brought home a set of twins he found in a train station. They were his.
Do you know what?
Nah.
Yeah, that reminds me of Michael Blackson announcing online that he had a baby with his fiance and a baby 3 weeks later. I think it was, give or take, with a friend he'd known for 5
2 months.
years.
But when you dig deep, when you dig deeper,
2 months.
dig deeper into the story, he has in a contract that he can sleep with whoever. They had an open marriage.
Really?
Yes. So I actually went.
They weren't married.
Yeah. So they had an open relationship where she signed a contract that said that he can have different partners. He can have up to 2 partners a month, and then he upped it to 5 a month. So this friend he talks about, like, it sounds mad when you hear the story, but when you actually, she signed to have an open relationship, and then she left because she couldn't handle it because he got 2 people pregnant.
No, but you know what was crazy? It was the way he described it. He said, "Oh yeah," and then 2 months later, a friend that I know had this. A friend that you know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Not a friend that you had sex with.
A friend that I've known for
that you
5
impregnated.
years.
Yeah. I was like, no, this guy. No. But anyway, okay, wait, I've got 2 more. My parents put me up for adoption, but then 2 years later, my mum divorced my dad, and my dad married my adoptive mother.
The people are scandalous.
And then last one.
They just love this segment already.
I have a twin brother. So we were only 2, but I discovered that my mum had another daughter. So we were triplets, but she abandoned her. I met her by accident on the street. We looked alike. We looked like Alice. Her name's Alice. We became friends and discovered we were twin sisters whilst talking about our families. When I told the rest of my family, they didn't know there was a 3rd child. So my mum decided to leave the country with only my brother. So now I live with my sisters.
Mad. She's just abandoning them left, right, and centre.
He said, "Oh no, I can only do 2. Oh no, I can only do 1."
That family the secrets.
That's wild, isn't
My
it?
family's normal.
No, I'm not even going to say mine is. Mine is not. Mine is not.
Mine
this is wild.
For a telenovela.
Actually, I'm lying. No.
Mine
I
could-
forgot about this one.
telenovela.
Oh yeah. Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. My mum and I are normal.
Yeah. I always say us who are normal. That's about it.
Because if I think about it, I'm like, woo!
Yeah.
It's true.
And do you know what? Especially as I'm growing older, the stories.
Yeah, that are
crazy.
coming out are mad. Especially now that you've got adult eyes as well. Now that you can know more as well. Because like, before you were a child, they don't need to hear that. But now, give me all the tea.
Yeah, I want it.
Listen.
Okay, so mine is from Am I the Arsehole? Am I the arsehole for feeling betrayed even though my husband treats me well and says he still wants our family together? Hi everyone, I, 32 female, have been married to my husband, 38 male, for 12 years. We met when I was doing an internship at his company while I was still in college. We got married before I even graduated. We have 2 sons, 7 and 5. My husband owns a construction and architecture firm and we work together. Until recently, I thought we had a happy marriage. But a few weeks ago, I accidentally found out that my husband is still in love with his ex-girlfriend. I overheard it completely by chance. I was supposed to be staying at home that day, but I decided last minute to go to the office. When I arrived, he was talking with one of his close friends. His ex had apparently left her husband and was struggling financially. She had reached out to my husband for help finding a place to live and he was helping her. Then I heard him say, "My heart still races when I'm around her." I froze. It felt like the air left my lungs. I started crying uncontrollably. Some of our employees saw me, sat me down and gave me water. Then my husband came. Later, I confronted him. He said when his ex got married, he decided it was time for him to settle down too, and that I was a good match for him at that time. He said our lifestyles, values, and families aligned well. He told me he truly values me and never wanted to hurt me. He said, "I couldn't marry the woman I loved, but you did marry the man you love. I didn't want you to go through the same pain, so I worked hard to make sure you were happy." He also said, "Marriage requires work, but you never had to work for it because I worked to give you a perfect marriage. To be fair, we've never had any major issues. Our families get along extremely well. We even live really close, which makes childcare easy. We often travel together while our parents look after the kids. But hearing that he's still in love with someone else broke something inside me. He told me, "You're the most important person in my life. I don't want to break our family apart. I want our kids to grow up happy." Then he said, "I know you'd never leave the kids. If you ever wanted to remarry, you'd want someone to treat you well and them as well. So why can't that person be me? I'm completely lost. Should I stay in this marriage? Can I ever truly forgive this?"
Do you know what? He's just said all the quiet things out loud.
He has.
It's mad. Like
It's a hard one.
the way he spoke to her it was so unfiltered and
So factual as well.
it's factual, unfiltered, and it's so raw, but it's so raw to the point of you don't know what to do with that information. And
I have nothing.
That's a hard
the
one.
reason why I'm even struggling to give advice is because it's mad. Like, I can honestly say I now know that men don't marry, on average, they don't marry the woman that they love. They marry
the woman that they want.
Yeah. No.
You think?
On average,
Really?
yeah, it's been said.
Oh.
Men on average don't marry the woman they love. They marry the woman that aligns well with them and their wants and needs.
It's like
So,
the whole
a
traffic
woman-
light, isn't it?
If I could speak, that would be great.
No, because this can be part of a discussion. Do you get it?
No, but you said they don't marry the woman that they want. Then you change it to love.
No. I said love at
She
the
said
beginning.
love,
She
and I
changed
said
it to
one.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
I
okay,
said
okay,
one.
okay.
Yeah, men don't marry the woman that they love. They marry the woman that aligns well with them. So a woman who can better their lived experience, whose values align with them, morals, big picture, that's who they end up marrying on average. Not the woman they're in love with, but what works with them as a person. And so everything that he's saying is actually true of what I know men to do when it comes to marriage. It's never the woman they're in love with. That it's never that for the most part.
I
don't
would
know, I
say that
disagree
it's
with
that
that.
for people, you know. There's
See,
lots of women
no,
who have
it's women,
settled.
really?
No.
Yeah,
See,
girl,
the reason
there
why
was
I disagree.
there was
but
a
wait,
thread that came out and it was like talking about, it asked the question like, did you marry the love of your life? And so many women were like, no, the man that
Really?
I love is a crackhead.
Oh,
Or
wow.
like, he broke my heart in so many ways. I realized that the thing I want it in this person. And I'm not going to lie, even my mum took like, part of my teachings as I was growing up is don't marry the man you love. Marry the person that's going to look after you and
Yes.
loves you well. So I agree with you, but I also think women do it.
Okay, but my thing is, I think older women do that. I
Okay.
think for the most part,
Yeah.
through propaganda, and I'm talking about
Yeah, women
the
chase
books that
love.
we read,
Yeah.
the TV shows that we
Yeah,
watch,
yeah,
the movies that
definitely.
we watch. We're constantly, as females, bombarded with this notion of love, this idea, this
conditioned.
romantic.
We're so
like,
conditioned.
We're so conditioned. We're
Yeah.
so manipulated to want this love that when it comes to a relationship, we seek love above all else.
Yeah.
Above all else, the fact that, you know, your religions don't align, your parents will hate him.
Or his treatment of you.
Yeah, his treatment of you. He's a liar, he's a cheater, he's a gambler, he's an addict. Like,
But you love
regardless
him.
of that, but I love him. So you end up married.
Seriously.
No, and
My
we
favourite
have-
thing about this podcast is the way we
Love.
decide
Like-
to mock the word love.
Love.
Because I love.
love.
Is it because of love now I'm now here suffering? Is it because of love I'm looking like a fool?
I know.
Yes, it is actually.
No, but that's what I'm saying. So going back to this story, everything that he said is actually everything that I understand men to do when it comes to marriage. The only thing is, what do you do with that information? Like, unfortunately, it is hurtful. It did betray her. And him even saying, you married the person you love, but I didn't marry. That's so hurtful. It's so cutting. But what can you actually do with it? Can she get over it? It's like, I don't know. Part of me just thinks, go get a little boyfriend then on the side and you just stay here for the sake of the kids. Because honestly, him saying that he's worked to give her a good life and be a present partner and basically be a good husband to her means that I know it. I think anyone would do it. They'll weigh up their odds and they'll realize if they step outside of this marriage, if they go to divorce and she's on her own, she's a single parent, the kids will be provided for, yes, but she won't have a partner. And so she'll end up just saying, do you know what's better? I stick with the devil I know. So I don't have advice for this because I just think it's just really, really tough situation. It's a really, really tough situation.
I think it's so hard. And like, okay, in regards to what you spoke about, men don't marry the woman that they love. So what I've read and know about is the whole traffic light system. So men marry when they're on green.
Yep.
And whoever's around gets it. So whether they've been whether they have been, for instance, in an on-off relationship with a woman for like 3 to 5 years, but like when they decide that they're ready for marriage, whoever's around, cool, we're getting engaged and we're off to get married. That's what I've known and that's what I've read, etc. So it looks like that's what happened to OP. And so I think it's really, really sad because they actually have a good lifestyle. She actually got, and this is the hardest bit, she actually got with the one that she loves. Yeah. Like, she's actually with the one that she loves and treats her well.
And everything that she wanted.
So that's why I say
family,
that's why I say they've got a good lifestyle. And a lifestyle is like a way of life. Like, I mean, a way of living. So she's got the kids, she's got the holiday, they even live close to her parents. Like, she's got such a good setup. It's hard for her, and it's hard for most people, I would say, to then decide
to walk away from that.
Yeah, it would be really hard for anybody to be like, oh yeah, no, I'm going to give up because he doesn't reciprocate that. He doesn't feel the same way. However, on the surface and from what she's always known and felt as well, he gives her that.
Yeah.
Because he has, remember, she didn't say that he makes her feel that he doesn't care about her. No, he's done all of that. So on face value, on paper, and like in reality, he's never made her feel as though she's second best, that she wasn't the first choice.
That she's lacking.
Yeah, until she heard him say how much his heart still bleeds and wants his exes. She never had those feelings. She never felt that way. Like, it's easy to walk away when you can feel it, when you know that someone isn't that into you, when someone treats you as a second option, like, oh, you're just like what I got. But he's never made her feel that way. So I feel so. Sorry, I was going to say, there's nothing wrong, and she's not the arsehole for feeling betrayed. You would feel betrayed. You would feel like your life and everything that you have was a lie. You would feel as though, wow, like what is real, what isn't. It's a confusing thing to do. And I think the only advice I would give is go to therapy and work it out.
That's
like
what
she has to speak to someone about this. Otherwise, everything that he now does from then on, she will question everything. Like, oh, is it because he wanted to or because he feels he has to? And like, is he just playing this role? Even when they take like family pictures, like even if the way he holds her, she will question absolutely everything. Is he just doing it because of the years spent together, because he's made a commitment? Like, it's a tough one. But
I'm just so sad that even though he said all of that, he didn't say,
I've grown to love you.
I love you, even a little bit. He's just like, you're important to me. He said everything, but
because maybe he doesn't, guys.
And that's mad.
Maybe he doesn't.
It's not mad. I think he has love for her.
He probably doesn't.
But he
Yeah,
doesn't.
Yeah, but
He's
then
not
why
in
didn't
love
he
with
say
her.
that?
Because he knew that'll probably hurt her. He's already said a lot. A lot
That's
that
a
can hurt.
hard one.
But
That
my thing is,
sentence, you marry the man you love, but hey,
I would be melting.
but do you know what? Actually, that reminds me.
That's a hard one.
Listen,
diss track.
Listen,
It's a soft diss track as
I know.
well.
But listen, that
that is
reminds me.
hard.
I saw a TikTok post and it said, this is the criteria that men basically tick off in order to qualify if somebody is marriage material for them. And love was very much at the bottom.
It was like one of the last bullet
it
points.
I think it was maybe about 26.
Yeah.
I want to say there was 26 line items.
No, there wasn't. It was like 12.
Oh,
There
shit.
really weren't that many.
Yeah, I think you're right. Sorry, I think you're right. I think it was about 12. And love was at the very bottom.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about stuff like, does she make my life better?
Yeah. Values.
Does she like my family?
Yeah. Same values.
Do we share the same religion?
Yeah. You can say
Will she
same
make-
values. I've been prompting you.
Yeah, values. Okay, let's say that. Will she make a good mother?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there was an entire checklist.
Yeah.
And when I thought about it, I said, do you know what? I think this is accurate because
Yeah.
it's us that's very emotionally led and
romanticise
driven
everything,
in
yeah.
the decisions that we make about our personal life, whereas men are very practical. They're extremely practical. And so when we talk about the traffic light system, I know what happened. Yes, she got married to the other guy. That triggered his traffic light system.
Yeah.
So then it was a green light. this lady happened to be around, and she probably ticked all the other
don't
boxes.
even have to say that. He says it.
So that's what I'm saying. Like it just makes so much sense. Men are very practical when it comes to looking for a partner. We are very feelings based.
I would be having, guys, daily therapy. After that, I'm having daily therapy sessions.
Daily therapy. I need to go to a home.
Yeah, I need time out.
So I can have group sessions several times a day.
Do you know the frustrating thing is there is this
That will spin me.
What would you do as the only married person here? Would you say you're going?
I told you should go to a house.
A little home. First of all, I'll call you guys.
I need intensive therapy.
When I come out,
mental institute. All right.
I want to be in the padded room for a minute. Like, you guys might not see me for a month. I might go on an eat, pray, love
journey in it.
Go and find myself again. Ask myself all the questions. Spend some time with some monks.
Honestly,
I would be like, guys, I'm more down bad than I've ever been in my life, and I need everyone's assistance.
But you know
I'm going to give you guys the kids' schedules. I need you all to chip in.
The community
I'm
help. Yeah,
gone. Because I would literally need to figure out what I'm going to do next.
No, but you know what's so hard about this as well is that you can't even really talk to your people them about this, you know, because it's embarrassing. No, do you know how embarrassing it is? And then also, like, you know how you don't know what's going on, and to some people your life looks perfect. From what she described, honestly, it sounds really ideal. Like most people want the kind of life that she's got. So some certain things, you know, you can't even talk to your people. Like you just have to be like,
I definitely agree. I think with me though, with my close friends, embarrassment's at the door. I'm in crisis. Like this is the embarrassment and the crisis. The crisis is the highest. It's the highest feeling I've got right now. I need you to know what is happening in my life.
A lot of people wouldn't.
No,
because they would never want to shatter that glass.
This one is
of perfection
to die for. If I never have to say it out loud, so be it. But I think I will still talk about it. But I'll be a mess.
And
the eyelashes gone, the hair pixie cut, a high top, relaxer.
Looking like Cynthia.
You'll be like that. Used to be Marie, because I would be like, guys, what is going on?
No, it's really hard.
But you know what?
Because he's not abusive.
I'm just thinking, even if they went to therapy, because he is very matter of fact about everything, I don't think that he'll change his stance. In the end, only because, I only say this because I've watched what's that TikTok account, and it even has a TV series attached to it where you see people's therapy sessions. You see
that lady.
Yeah. It's called Couple Something. It's called Couple Something. Yeah, I know.
I've forgotten the name of the account, but there are men that are very factual that come in this, like that are in these therapy sessions, and they're just like, this is what it is. What do you want me to do? And she's like, you know, if you could just say it in a gentle manner, like if you could just, and he's like, I could do all that, but it still won't change anything. And you'd know I was faking it. You'd know that there's no sincere feelings behind it. So I just imagine that in the end, even if they went therapy, I imagine that for her mental health, it'll probably end. And he would just...
She's not single as well, by the way, guys.
They would just agree...
That's another thing.
Yeah, listen.
As well.
Wait a second. I think that they would just agree that they have a great setup and a family, a co-parenting relationship. I think in the end that's likely what will happen. They'll go therapy. He will stand firm on this is what it is, and I have done right by her, I've done right by our kids, I've created a good life for her. And he'll say, I can't deny my feelings towards my ex. I love her. And now she's single, and I guarantee the question will pop up. The question will pop up that she does not want to hear the answer. Now that she's single, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
And he will look her in the eye and say nothing. But he knows, and she knows, he's pursuing her. He's pursuing her because she's now available.
Yeah.
And all he has to do is bide his time, be this provider to this ex-girlfriend, provide her with the home that she needs, look out for her. And just like Hitch says, be her knight in shining armor.
Yeah.
Like Hitch, the film, persistency pays off.
It does.
He just has to be this one solid in her life. And I promise you, he can get in. After she's agreed for the end of her marriage, he can get that in. He can be that solid guy to her.
It's that easy.
And then now that
And he could be with the love of his life, and she'll be with the provider.
Thank you. And now that the marriage is over between Opie and her husband, he can marry the person he's always been in love with, and she can fall back in love with him.
This is Opie's right. I would feel betrayed. Honestly, that's it. That's the only thing you can.
I feel betrayed for her.
Sad.
I think the words he chose to say to her are so cruel, but in like
it wasn't though. Yeah, I don't think they're cruel. But do you know what it is? It's a lack of emotion. Yeah, it's a lack of sensitivity. Yeah, it's a lack of
honest. They're raw. They're
in the sound of Melinda.
That's what I wanted to say, guys. No, but do you know what? It's because it's so factual. It lacks emotional intelligence. It lacks sensitivity towards her feelings, obviously.
Yes.
But at the same
that's
time,
what I mean when I say it was kind of cruel. Like, there's certain things you can be blunt about, but you have to take into consideration how the person's going to receive it. It was a cruel thing to say to the person that's raised your kids, been with you all this time, and she's asking you, wait a minute, how do you feel about me? You married me because you love me? I know that. And because of that, I've worked hard to make sure that you're good. But that's not what I asked you. That's crazy.
No,
that's crazy.
It's that hard one. This is adulting, you know? That, like, adulting isn't Disney. Like, adulting is so complicated. And I'm talking about adult feelings as well. Yeah. Like, you may be in love with someone, but they may not reciprocate. Like, even relationships, like, okay, you can get this, but they're missing this part. Like, adulting is just so hard. Like, as a child, we grow up, especially females, you get your prince, and then you get together and you ride off into the night, happily ever after. But it's like, you don't. Sometimes you don't. Even when it looks perfect, it's not.
Absolutely. Top comment, I think you need space to process this before deciding anything. What he said might sound noble, but it's also deeply unfair to you. He made a choice years ago and built a life with you, yet he's holding on to feelings for someone else. Therapy, both individual and couples, might help you figure out what you really want, not just what keeps the peace for everyone. Yeah, like, I don't know, man.
It's true. And it is totally unfair to her. I don't think we spoke much about it.
But this is why I say it's cruel. Maybe I used the wrong word. Yeah. But I think it's quite cruel to say to someone, I settled for you big time.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
It's really unfair.
It really reminds you of that. It's a book turned into a TV series, Mr. Loverman.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And he obviously...
Great show, by the way, guys.
Oh, phenomenal. Really came out last
BBC.
year. And the story... Did you watch it?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. But for those that didn't watch it, it was a TV series about a couple who... They're older. They're in their 60s. Jamaican, British couple. They have 2 older daughters. And the guy is gay. But back in the days, this is what, like the 80s or something, you couldn't be gay. You just couldn't be gay. The stick that came with it and also just everything. You couldn't be openly gay. And so he married, he did the right thing. But again, it was unfair to her. Yeah. It was unfair to her. And he had the whole time, he had a lover.
Yeah.
He had a lover, this guy. They both came from Jamaica at the same time. Like, that was his love. And he'd been with him the whole time he was married. 30 years? Or something along those lines. Yeah. And it just reminds me, like, when she eventually found out, I remember the way she screamed at him. And she said it wasn't fair.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking.
It wasn't fair to me what you did. You gave me no choice in the matter. Yeah. And she felt
I think she asked the question. She asked the question. She asked the question, what about me?
Yeah.
Like, in all of this,
I think it's cruel.
Yeah, it was he just thought about himself.
Are we in agreement that there's cruelty in there?
It is cruel, but do you know what?
I feel like that's not the main.
Agreed. I think it's really unfair. That's the bit that I think is that's the bit that stands out to me, because it's like, cool, she might have got what she wanted, but she didn't get him.
She didn't get it she got it.
No, but she didn't ultimately get him. Like, she got all the things that come with, like, a marriage, a good life, all of that. That's why I say it's good on paper, but she didn't get him. Whereas, like, she thought she did because she married who she loved, But that's why I think noble's a really good word. That top comment use, it does seem noble. You know, he's given up his desires to provide for his family. Like, it's an honourable thing that he's doing. He's taking care of like what's his. And also it's very honourable because he made a commitment and he's sticking to it. So
their relationship is not going to be the same, bro.
So that bit, but it's unfair to her.
Yeah, and also she feels second best.
Now that feels and knows.
I know.
Okay, so the next one is a submission. My ex cheated on me and I ended up dating his dad without realising it. Hey ladies, I love your podcast and wanted to send you my wild story as you requested. So I, 25 female, dated this guy, Jay, for almost 2 years. Things were good at first, but towards the end, he started acting weird, hiding his phone, being busy all the time, snapping at me for little things. You know, that gut feeling you get when something's off. Yeah, I had it. I ended up finding out he was cheating on me through the most cliche ways possible. A friend sent me a screenshot from someone's private story of Jay cuddling up with a girl who definitely wasn't me. When I confronted him, he said I was being dramatic and that we were basically broken up anyway. We were not. I left him the next day. It really sucked, but I was done. A few months later, my best friend convinced me to download a dating app again. I wasn't really looking for anything serious, but I matched with this guy named Daniel. He was in his late 40s, divorced, had grown kids, but he was really easy to talk to, thoughtful, funny, emotionally mature, which was a bit of fresh air. We went on a few dates and honestly got along really well. He didn't talk much about his kids and I didn't push. It just felt nice to be treated well for once. About a month and a half in, he invited me to a small family cookout. I almost went, but decided against it. It just felt too soon. Then a week later, I got a text from Jay out of nowhere. I hadn't heard from him in months. It said, "You really couldn't find anyone else? That's my fucking dad." I thought he was joking, but then he sent a photo. A screenshot from Daniel's Facebook. There I was. In a picture Daniel had posted of us at dinner. I looked up Daniel's last name and yeah, it's the same as Jake's. Apparently, Jake saw the photo because one of his relatives commented something like, "You two look great together" on it. Daniel had no idea I was his son's ex either. We talked about it that night and he was actually really understanding. He said he and Jay weren't close and hadn't spoken much since Jay was a teenager. We decided to stop seeing each other. It was just too awkward. But he told me he didn't regret meeting me, which was nice. And you know, we sealed the deal one more time. I mean, the damage was already done. That was some good D, pun intended. A week later, a mutual friend told me Jay was losing it over the whole thing. Apparently, he called his dad disgusting and a traitor, which made me laugh considering he was the one who cheated on me first. I didn't mean for it to be revenge, but honestly, life has a funny way of balancing itself out.
Balance, baby.
I love that.
I love that for
That's
him.
a great story. And thank you for sending your wild story.
These are the kind of stories we love, guys.
They are. They really are.
Drama.
Do you know what?
That is a scandal. I love a scandal.
No, same. She did the right thing, like just ending it because
for
it's
sure.
It's just mess. It's messy. It's awkward. Who wants that? And it was only a month. It was only a few months.
Yeah.
Like so, it's whatever. But that's a great story.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a Am I the Arsehole story. Am I the arsehole for saying no to my parents if they ask me to pick up their slack? Hi ladies, I'm a huge fan of your podcast and the advice you share. I, 25 female, live at home with my family and I am the eldest daughter. My relationship with my parents has been rocky for the last 5 years. There are times we get on well and times when my mental health has been at an all-time low. This is a constant cycle. I suffer from anxiety and depression, and my parents refuse to acknowledge that they contribute to this. In the past, they have asked me to pay for large expenses and bills, such as mortgages, and guilt-trip me into doing this. They always want myself and my younger sibling to bail them out in situations we are not even involved in. More recently, I had a high-paying job, but for different reasons, I left this job. I now have a job closer to home, meaning less travel time, better working patterns, and more time to spend with my friends. The team is great, and I enjoy the job. However, the pay is less. In order to progress in my career, I plan on taking an additional qualification to increase my pay potential. I want to do this over the course of 4 years and pay for it myself. However, my parents insist I start it now and they will pay for it. Whilst I am grateful for their offer, this is something I want to do for myself. And I know if they give me the money to pay for it, arguments will start. And they will start asking me to pay back more money than they loaned me.
They're a bank.
In addition to this, they have a business and want me to do a lot of the work for it. I have expressed multiple times that between my day job, seeing friends and studying for my qualification, I will not have the capacity to do this. They are more than capable of doing the work, but for some reason they like to dump everything on me and like to make me feel bad for not doing it. They compare me to others and say, I am falling behind in my career. Others your age are way ahead of you, and this is not good. I prefer to take my time as exams are not my strong suit and I want to ensure I am strong mentally to continue. I am keen on going back to therapy to support me during this time, and I have a great friendship group around me too. I prefer to spend more time with them as they listen and give me advice. Plus, it takes my mind away from the toxicities at home. I had a conversation with a friend recently who asked me if my feelings are something I can speak to my parents about. I could have easily burst into tears when they asked me this, as feelings should be something children can talk to their parents about and they listen and work things through with them. It is much easier for me to move out, but given the current housing market and rental costs, this is not an option, sadly. Am I the asshole for saying no to my parents if they ask me to pick up their slack? How do I deal with my parents who do not like to listen and respect my wishes, but expect me to listen to them?
That's a hard one, because my advice would have been move out.
It's true. Same.
It's true.
So now that I know you can't, woo! Do you know what? I think you do need to go to therapy, because in therapy you might find the strength to express yourself and say what you mean when you mean it. As in, like, if you say, I don't want to do,
firm.
you can stand firm a little bit more. And I think maybe when you go into therapy, work on that, like work on standing firm and not feeling bad about it, because in your dilemma, you talk about feeling guilty. So maybe working through not feeling guilty when you do things that your parents don't want, so that it doesn't affect you and heighten your anxiety. I think that's what I would work on in therapy to help, because obviously you're going to stay with them and you're going to stay in the same environment as them. So I feel like by making sure you stand firm and not feel guilty, it will mean that you'll be able to live with them for longer.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah. I think my advice, and it probably sounds like terrible, but I'm telling you, it works. Just stop. Like, stop and give excuses. Like, it sounds crazy, but I'm telling you right now, like, anything that they require, anything more that they require of you that you're not capable of, stop. Just tell them you can't do it, and have excuses in the bank as well. Like, say, oh, you've got other commitments, you're busy, you need to work, you're expected here, you've got your hands full, you'll get back to them. And after a while, they will stop asking.
Okay, yeah,
that's literally my excuse for any and everything. If people are demanding too much of you, you have to learn to say no. Like, literally learn to say no and say, but there are some people that will guilt trip you, so they won't allow you to say no. So you have to be sure that you've got an excuse in the bank and say, okay, no, I can't for this reason. I'm expected here. I've got this here. I've committed here. Like, just do that. And after a while, they will stop asking, because nobody likes to be rejected constantly. After a while, it's just like, oh yeah, I know she's always busy, or no, she's going to say no anyway. And in that way, it becomes the norm not to expect you to do X, Y, Z, whether it's picking up the mortgage, whether it's any like absolutely anything at all. And as for the money for the course, say no, it's fine, I want to handle it myself. And in that way, you won't feel and you won't be expected to pay them back and more as well.
Do you know what? Just to piggyback off what Melinda said, my ex taught me that. Like, he said, the best thing you could do
become
is become unreliable.
Yeah.
Like, he said he does that with everyone, family and friends.
Honestly.
Unless outside of, like, the person that he's with and his daughter. But for the most part, he's like, I work towards being unreliable for people, so they don't have any expectations of me. So it does work. It really does work. After a while, people get worn down by your, like, unaccountability. Like,
no, it's not even not unaccountable. It's just they can't depend on you.
Yeah, people get worn down by the fact that you're you'll likely say no.
Yep.
That you likely won't be where you say and do what you said you'll do. They just get worn down and just, it's in their best interest not to even bother to ask you for anything in the end. So fortunately for me, my ex taught me this a long time ago, and it's kind of who I am to some people now.
Yeah.
And it's one of the best things for me.
And especially to the right people as well. Those that want to use you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, like, you become unapproachable. Because you're so unreliable, so not dependable, you become unapproachable because it's like, oh no, I don't even want to, like, I can't be bothered. Like, there's no point. I know she's going to say no, or like, and trust me, it means that you won't be used.
Yeah, and it takes a really brave soldier to still persist and keep asking.
And then you know what?
Even though you're unreliable.
Yeah, and then it'll just be like, sorry about that.
Yeah.
I can't actually.
And I would just start letting them down. Say you were supposed to be at a particular place.
All the time.
Just don't turn up and lie and make up an excuse about why you couldn't. Just start becoming really unreliable. They won't ask you for anything. Slowly over time.
It means you're not usable.
Because
I'm telling you.
A pattern. And even if all they do is just criticize this new version of you, that's fine, because then you no longer have to give as much as before.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
but
I don't get
with your anxiety, definitely, though, if you go to therapy.
Yeah, therapy helps.
I feel like even what they're saying is so true, but if you're an anxious person, even though you're doing those things, you might still feel guilty about it.
Yeah.
And I think you definitely need to work on that in therapy, but do what they said.
Yeah,
honestly, I don't get manipulated. I don't get used because I say no all the time.
Yeah, I would say do both. Therapy
for sure.
plus being unreliable. The other thing that I was going to say that could help is look for a new job. And look for a new job that will pay for the qualification that you're after. It happens all the time. Like, if they see a value in you, they will, and you tell them, I also want to get this accreditation, qualification. If they see value in you, they'll pay. They'll pay for that certificate.
Ask if there are training options
training
out there,
opportunities. And the reason why I say if you can get that, then that will allow her to save to move out.
Yeah.
Because then she won't have to foot the bill for this certificate.
For mama and papa.
Yeah, for this qualification. I mean, and it gets her out of the house sooner.
Absolutely.
I do have an update. We had a family discussion about different things. I said I will make changes towards my actions, but deep down, I still feel if I am to ever address my feelings with my parents, things will just get shut down and this cycle will continue. But that's why, honestly, just to go back to the advice I gave, looking for a new job where that qualification can be sorted out and you saving means that you're working towards leaving the home. Because I think if you don't feel that it's even a safe space to bring up feelings, talk less about anything else, I think that that's probably an environment that you need to get away from.
Yeah, agreed. I know the update addressed communicating with your parents. Unfortunately, I think it gets to a point where you do need to accept how your parents are and work with them. So if your parents aren't the kind of people that you can address your feelings with, go to therapy so you can learn to understand and not hold that resentment in, and learn a different way to communicate with them that will maybe resonate. I will say that just because honestly, that will be a lifelong battle for you if you don't accept it, and you have to come to terms with it. It may be sad, but some people are the way they are, and the longer you keep fighting it, the more it's you that loses. That's it.
Mine is from Am I the Arsehole? Am I the arsehole for leaving my own birthday dinner early after my boyfriend showed up with 3 of his friends uninvited?
No.
I, 26 female, planned a small birthday dinner at one of my favourite restaurants with just 5 of my closest friends and my boyfriend, 28 male. I reserved the table. I wanted it to be a chill, intimate night with the people who matter most to me. When my boyfriend arrived, he brought 3 of his friends that I barely know. No warning, no, hey, do you mind? Just a casual, they didn't have plans, figured it would be fun.
Oh.
It completely changed the vibe. The restaurant had to rearrange the table, and suddenly this dinner I planned turned into him holding court with his buddies.
Mm-hmm.
They dominated the conversation with inside jokes, barely acknowledging my friends. I felt like an extra at my own event. I tried to stay polite, but I was honestly upset. After about an hour of feeling invisible, I pulled the server aside, paid the entire bill, including for his friends, told everyone I wasn't feeling well, said a warm goodbye to my friends and left. Later that night, my boyfriend texted saying I was dramatic and made him look bad in front of his friends. He said I should have just gone with the flow and that I ruined the night for everyone. I didn't yell. I didn't cause a scene. But now he's acting like I was out of line. Am I the asshole for walking out of my own birthday dinner?
No, because it wasn't about you. When he came with his friends, decided to do inside jokes, decided to hold court, it was no longer her birthday celebration. It became just another night out.
Yeah.
And he should have been the dutiful boyfriend on the night. That's what he should have been. He should have been celebrating her. But instead, he's decided to be, the host? The host at her birthday party, at her birthday event.
The party entertainer.
Dare I say,
like
the
him
clown.
and his friends.
The clown, the jester, the entertainer for the night. That's wild. I really respect that you'd even continue to be with him, because him trying
I question.
Yeah, sorry. I even question you being in a relationship with him after this event, because him then trying to put the blame on you and say that you changed the mood, you ruined everything, whilst ignoring that it was her birthday celebration, is wild. And if you have a conversation with him and you're unable to get him to understand that, break up with him. Break up with him, because this is not a reasonable human and this is not a reasonable and sane person.
No, May's totally right. Am I the arsehole, right? Not the arsehole at all. I think the way she handled it was
adult.
Chef's kiss, sis.
Mature.
It was mature. She even handled the entire bill
for him and his friends.
Kept it warm, saying her goodbyes to her mates, and left. Not dramatic at all. First of all, she needs to be writing ex-boyfriend. I don't know why there is a boyfriend in there. Needs to be writing ex-boyfriend. And this is the end. It needs to be the end, because literally, if she puts up with this, it gets worse. What I'm learning now is that people
men don't change.
That bit, but also I've learned that people test you from early, and then okay, cool, she'll accept this. It gets worse. So if sis can accept this, the fact that he lacked social etiquette, do you know socially, you can't just turn up to someone's birthday with 3 people. Do you know that's rude? Like whether it's I went to my friend's birthday, whether I went to my in-laws, it's socially unacceptable to do that, especially at a small gathering. It's socially unacceptable to do that. So the fact that he thought that was okay tells you a lot about him. That guy is selfish, he's inconsiderate, and he does not prioritize her, his other half, his partner.
He doesn't even want to spend time with her.
Exactly. Instead, he's here.
The only person, maybe the only male. I'm assuming.
Yeah, because he's selfish.
I think that's where an insecurity propped up. He did
exactly.
There's loads of people that can't just be the only.
Yeah.
But it was her birthday. That's when you can be the only.
Exactly. He's not prioritizing her though. That's one of my huge problems here. Like he could not set time aside or a day to celebrate her, and that's what the future looks like. This is a incredibly selfish person. So if she accepts this, it can only get worse. You know it can only get worse. This is the type of guy that would then forget her birthday, forget anniversaries. So I'm telling you right now, she needs to dead it. Completely dead it. And do you know what? Also, he's invalidating her feelings and her whole experience. He called her dramatic. She wasn't dramatic. She didn't cause any drama. She didn't erupt, start shouting. Nothing happened, even though certain people, that's exactly where they're heading. That's the first thing they're doing. Like, as soon as all of them man walked in, they'll be like, excuse me, why are you here? Like, some people would do that, but she didn't do that. She handled it with grace and class.
Yeah, she's better than me.
Yeah, she's better than me. I'm pulling you aside and being like, yo, who are these? Why are they here? No, you lot better leave. That's what I would do. So, no, in that kind of situation, was not the asshole at all. And if she's got any brain cells in her body, in her head, she would dead that. That guy is not good for her, nor once good for her as well.
Do you know what?
He's not respectful. He lacks respect as well.
Yeah. Do you know
that man is disrespectful.
Do you know
let me calm down and stop it. That's it.
Do you know what he also is?
He's disrespectful.
He's trying to be a master manipulator. He's gaslighting her.
Yeah.
He's gaslighting, because gaslighting is creating doubt, right?
Absolutely.
He's gaslighting her into her doubting whether what she did was the correct and the mature, whether it was dramatic or not. He's using certain keywords that will trigger her into questioning her behaviour, but she did nothing wrong.
Yeah, I completely agree with you guys, and she's not the arsehole. But I do feel like in a few years' time, if they get married, he's the type to throw a cake in her face.
Oh my
As
God.
as
Every
as
time I see content like that,
yeah,
I'm like, whoa.
like or trip her up in the water, or
Yeah,
get her wet,
and say it was
to
just a joke.
prank her
Yeah.
on her wedding day. He gives that energy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those are the people you avoid.
100%. Top comment, not the arsehole. What he did was rude and ruined your planned dinner. You were very generous to pay the whole tab. You don't say whether this is a pattern with him or not. If it's a pattern, I'd suggest making him your ex-boyfriend. If not, you need to have a serious talk about why what he did wasn't cool. If he doesn't get it and offers you a sincere apology, I'd once again suggest making him your ex-boyfriend.
That's exactly what I
Yeah.
said. I said, if they talk about it and he does not get it,
But he doesn't
what he
seem
did,
to.
and I don't think that he
Yeah.
will. He has to be an ex. He has to, because this, like, him deprioritizing her on her birthday, it will happen. It will keep happening time and time and time again. And him being able to justify it and manipulate her into thinking and questioning her behavior and her actions over wanting to celebrate her day, wanting to celebrate herself is mad.
No, it's crazy. Like, yeah. And anyway, guys, you know where I stand with all of this kind of stuff. Things that you allow is the things that will break you. You don't allow it from the beginning. If you can allow this, it's going to get worse. Honestly. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching if you stayed right to the end. And guys, don't forget we have our monthly bonus episode coming out Wednesday. It's always every last Wednesday of the month. And you also have an extra bonus this month with Thanksgiving coming out directly the day after the bonus episode. So you get 2 bonuses this month.
We treat you so well.
Oh my
Isn't it?
gosh. Thanks guys, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
In 2025, I didn't do a marathon. I didn't do one in 2023, 2022, 2024. It's a bit of a running joke.
Isn't it? It's a very shit running joke.
I really like it.
We've been doing okay financially lately. I had a little extra cash. I Hey, it's only just started. Okay.